All right, today we're going to talk about a concept that is fundamentally changing, well, everything. From the phone in your pocket to the way we even think about trash. We're diving deep into the future of the circular economy and what's on the horizon for 2026. Let's get right into it.
91%. Just take a second and let that number sink in. That's the percentage of all the stuff, all the resources we pull out of the earth that get used just one time and then are thrown away. That one stat right there is the heart of the whole problem.
So where does a number like 91% even come from? Well, it's the end result of a system we've been running on for centuries, the linear economy. And the model is super simple, but also incredibly destructive. We take resources, we make stuff, and then we just throw it away. This whole take, make, waste pipeline, it's hitting a wall. It's draining our planet, creating literal mountains of waste, and honestly, it was never, ever built to last. And this is where you can really see the huge shift in thinking. On one side, you've got the linear model, which is all about a disposable mindset. But on the other, you have the circular model, which is restorative by its very design. So instead of a one-way street to the landfill, it's a constant loop. You redesign, you remake, you restore. And the outcome? It's not just less depletion, it's actual regeneration. This is a total reimagining of how we make and use things.
Okay, so if the linear economy is the problem, then you guessed it, the circular economy is the solution. And it's such a brilliant approach because it's not just about, getting better at recycling. It's about completely reframing the idea of waste itself, turning it from a liability into a genuinely valuable resource. It's a fundamental shift away from seeing things as disposable and towards seeing them as these constant sources of value.
So what is a circular economy exactly? At its core, it's an economic system that's literally designed to get rid of waste and keep resources in play constantly. But here's the really mind-bending part. It completely redefines what growth even means. Instead of growth being about how much more stuff can we sell, growth becomes about how much more value and positive impact can we create from the resources we already have.
And this whole system really stands on three powerful pillars. First, you design waste and pollution out of the picture from the very beginning. It's not an afterthought. Second, you do everything you can to keep products and materials circulating in the economy at their absolute highest value for as long as humanly possible. And third, and this is a big one, you actively regenerate our natural systems. You're not just taking less, you're actually making things better.
Now, this all sounds great in theory, right? But what does it actually look like when the rubber meets the road? Well, this isn't some pie-in-the-sky academic idea. Not at all. Businesses all over the world are already making this shift, and they're being pushed by innovation, by what you and I demand as consumers, and by some seriously powerful economic incentives.
This quote just nails the mindset shift we're talking about. The old way was all about volume. How many widgets can we push out the door? But the new goal is all about value. How much service, how much durability, how much use can we get out of a single product over its entire long life? It's a massive shift from pure quantity to quality and longevity.
So, how does a company actually do this? Let's make it real. Picture a company that makes headphones, okay? Step 1. They design their headphones to be super durable and really easy to repair. Step 2. They launch a program where you can send your old headphones back when you're done. Step 3. They take those old headphones, harvest the valuable materials inside, and use them to make brand new products. And then comes the final step, and this is the real game changer. They shift to a product-as-a-service model. They stop just selling headphones and start selling a subscription to an amazing audio experience, with all the repairs and upgrades included. See? That's the circular model in action.
Now, when enough companies start thinking and acting this way, the entire business landscape starts to change. I mean, it creates these incredible new opportunities, but it also puts a ton of pressure on those old-school, linear businesses. And you better believe investors are sitting up and taking notice.
So what's gotten investors so excited? Well, for a huge chunk of them, 40%, it's all about mitigating risk. Think about it. If your business depends on a constant stream of brand new raw materials, you're vulnerable to all kinds of price shocks and supply chain problems. A circular business is just tougher, more resilient. Then you add in completely new ways to make money, better ESG scores for compliance, and a much stronger brand, and it becomes a no-brainer why the smart money is flowing in this direction.
Let's be really clear here. This is not just some new trend in recycling. We're talking about one of the biggest, most fundamental transformations in how we do business since, the Industrial Revolution. It's a complete rethinking of what value is, what ownership is, and what growth is. So, that brings us to the big question. The reason we're all here, what's coming next? As we head into 2026, what are the key trends we should all be watching? Well, it turns out there are three major forces all coming together at once to really speed things up.
The path to 2026 is really being paved by these three things converging. Right now, the big driver is policy. Things like right-to-repair laws are popping up all over the world. By the middle of 2026, we're going to see technology really take center stage. Think AI and blockchain becoming standard for tracking materials, making sure we can actually recover and reuse them. And then by the end of that year, look for a huge shift in how we, the consumers, behave, with rental and resale models really starting to challenge the old idea of ownership, especially in big areas like fashion and electronics.
And the economic force behind all this is just staggering. Look at these numbers. The circular economy market is projected to grow by $1.3 trillion in just 2 years. It's going from $4.5 trillion to a projected $5.8 trillion by 2026. This proves a really critical point. This is not about sacrificing growth to save the environment. This is about unlocking a smarter, more resilient, and way more profitable way to grow. So, if you only take one thing away from this whole explainer, let it be this. The circular economy has officially passed the tipping point. It's not a niche idea for a few green companies anymore. It is rapidly becoming a core, mainstream business strategy. And any company still stuck in that old linear way of thinking, they're going to get left in the dust.
And that really leaves all of us with a final, pretty big question to think about. As our world is actively being rebuilt on circles, we all have to ask ourselves, as consumers, as employees, as investors, in a world built on circles, where does your straight line lead?